believe I'm on. Let me open this. Hang on. I want to get full screen. Enter full screen. Okay, so now you should be able to get in. Okay, well, yeah. It's, yeah, okay, I can't see you, but you will be. It should just take Zoom a while. There's, oh, my goodness, Ellie has just logged in. That's weird. And here you are. Okay, I guess Ellie, hello. Okay, so we'll hang up so that we can use the Zoom to talk.
I don't know if this is working. Is this working?
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is good. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So.
And it looks good.
Okay.
I would say, tell me hello, Miss Ellie.
We're early. We're early.
We're early. We're just getting, like we opened the door to the meeting and we're just checking.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
listening
to the news, so I will mute myself.
Okay, well, we just wanted to be here early because I'm running the program, and I wanted Janet to feel comfortable getting set up. And you guys know each other, right?
Oh yes, and I've read her book. It's awesome.
I know. I love the book.
I love the book, and she signed it for me. I absolutely love your book, and I think I've told you that. So.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
Good luck tonight. I'm sure it will be wonderful.
Oh, I hope
I'm very excited.
Yeah, it will.
Okay, so we'll see.
It'll be great.
I'm ready.
Esther, if you need any help, I'm kind of familiar with Zoom. So if you have any.
Good, thank you. Well, if someone's, I thought we would check as people sign in. I bet you are. I forgot that you. As people
is that your
that they're comfortable with their Zoom.
If you go down here, where if you hover at the bottom, it'll show participants.
Yes.
And if you click on that, it'll give you a window on the side, and it will show you who is actually signed in.
Yeah, it's us three so far.
Three right now.
We three.
Right. I think maybe that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So
just hover at the bottom, and it should say participants.
Yeah.
And click on that, and then you'll get a little window off to the right.
I've had it in the past. Manage participants.
Okay. Yeah, I see. And it tells you who's
right.
here.
It tells you who's on.
Right. Okay.
And if they're muted or if they have their video.
All right. Well, no one else has come. It's early.
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're very early.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
So I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Okay. And if you need anything, just give me a shout.
Hi.
Ah!
All right. Well, we have nothing left to do except
well, except, does that look all right? I tried to clear some of the debris away.
Oh, it looks wonderful. We're going to focus on your beautiful face, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm depressed to see you wearing a winter black plaid, but other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, right. I thought I should look a little, better than in my sweatshirts.
Oh, you look fine.
Elegant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, sweetie.
So, Ellie, you can stay on. I thought we would tell participants that they can control their own view, and that they can have speaker view if they want to see Janet up big when she's holding forth. And that they can go back and forth between speaker, and if they want gallery view.
Right.
So either one. Because they have to do that for themselves. By the way, this is recording.
I see that.
The temple Zoom seems to be set up to record automatically from the beginning. So
That's good.
Oh,
That's good.
okay,
Nothing
that's
wrong with
nice.
that.
Okay.
yeah, so we have to be very discreet now. No gossip.
Only good things. Only
Mhm.
good things. Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
So
Ellie,
what
do you have
I,
your paper and pencil ready?
Ellie, do
Journal?
you,
huh?
Do you have your paper and pencil ready to journal?
Oh, no. I'm not
Well-
a journaler.
Well,
yes, you're gonna just write some things today.
Oh,
right.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I thought I would do is I'll read for about 15 minutes of what I wrote, and then I've got some guidelines for everybody else to give a try to do some things,
Cool.
and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
And whoever wants to share what they wrote, that's fine, but
That's
you don't
awesome.
have to. So
I was hoping you were going to read us the book.
I am reading from the book, but not the whole thing, because that's kind of hard for people, I think.
Yeah, I know. I've
Yeah.
had it on my nightstand since I bought it from you.
Oh, okay.
And I read it like in the first day or so after I got it. And I
Me too.
just loved it. So,
It was like a one reading I didn't want to
yeah,
quit.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just,
And then my next thought was, what a nice thing for your family.
yes.
You know, oh my gosh, to have that.
Well, it's
I-
really interesting because I was nervous about bringing it to them because I don't know, you just want it to be what they wanted, it's
Right.
so so I brought it. I guess it was like a proof copy one Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving before last, I guess. And they had all different, Sarah kept saying, I want more. I want
Yes.
more. And Avi was saying, I couldn't read some of this right off the bat because it got me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the other kids were a little circumspect, not too overly. The grandkids were thrilled.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's been very interesting. Yeah.
You know what I loved about it? You drew the reader in like we were part of your family.
Good.
You really
Well,
did.
what I discovered from people reading it was that it kind of reflected back on their own families.
Yes, very much.
Because
Very much.
families are families.
Yep.
And they're really not that different.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But it just had so much heart in it. It was
Thank you.
just absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. So now I hope somebody comes to our party.
I think they will.
Well, Carol has a very large email list for the
Yeah.
Women's Chavurah, a very
Yes.
large list.
Okay.
Plus,
All right.
it's
So
been in
we'll
snippets.
see.
So,
All right. Well, if you have to go get a cup of coffee or something
or
to,
whatever, right?
yeah.
But you'll get a minion for sure, Janet.
Okay. I have one or two others that are not in the book that I thought I would read as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So talk about a minion.
With photographs?
What's that?
Do you have additional photographs to share with it?
No, but this you'll recognize. So,
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Awesome. I should go get my copy so I can follow.
Right.
That's fine. All right. I think I'm going to go get some water.
We're all just going to, people can let themselves in here because they come in by password.
Yes.
So, oh, look at Rusty.
Yeah.
So
All right. I'm going to get some ice water.
Okay,
I
perfect.
shall return.
Okay. I'll
What?
watch the store.
What is it? Oh, well, I mean, it's not officially started, so thank you. But if he plays with it in here, he's not allowed to.
So Janet,
Yeah.
once, like, it seems like most people have arrived, just like as if this were real, Carol has a very, very brief introduction, welcome to Women's Chavurah program and introduction.
Okay.
And she has, it's this long, it's not very long. And Carol, if Carol has internet issues, which she has had once or twice, then she'll turn it over to Carol Teagarden to just do the introduction. So.
Okay.
This is so lovely of you to do for all of us.
Oh, well, we had some poetry readings scheduled, and then, the pandemic, and
Right.
so life has really changed, hasn't it?
For sure. For sure. They call it before times.
Before times.
Before times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And every now and then I have a
Well,
flash of what it is we all used to do out and around.
Well, right before was the end of January, we were in New York because I'd been going to see my brother every 3 months. And we were all over town, and we even went to Chinatown and had dim sum in this incredible banquet room of a restaurant. And I'd heard of the China stuff, but this was the end of January, and when I think back on where we were and the crowds, and oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing we did at Temple was Purim.
That's right. That's
very
right.
last
That was the last.
Um,
So it was at March 9th or something.
something. And that was a packed house.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you have a watch or a clock that you have nearby?
I do. And there's also right at the bottom of my computer.
Yeah, good. Right.
So what are you looking on? Is that a desktop computer or desktop?
We have a little thing. It's a tablet with a keyboard. It's called a Microsoft Surface Pro because we're not iPhone type Apple people. And it's proven wonderful. It's big enough to see everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's like a desktop, but it doesn't have a heck of a lot of memory, but don't need it for,
right.
as a tablet.
Right.
But you can carry it around and portable. And what are you using a laptop?
It's a desktop, but the screen that I use is really a TV screen.
Yeah.
So
right.
it's fairly large, which is,
it's lovely.
it is lovely, especially if you do work on it.
Right.
Van had showed me how to use a program that creates a book. So I had to,
right.
He helped me with it. Every time I'd have trouble, it was Van. So it was really nice to have a big screen.
Yes, yes. Well, some people work with more than one screen when they're
Yeah,
doing,
right,
you know.
right.
Um,
I
but
don't know how they do that, but
well, because then you can leave two things
oh,
open
right.
at the same
Yes, yes,
time.
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're working on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and also we got a cable and we were able to watch the high holiday services on our big TV screen, sitting on the couch,
Okay.
which was extremely pleasant,
Yes, yes.
both size and comfort.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so
Okay. It's 52.
I think that people tend to come at the last minute. You know, they think, oh, the meeting starts at 7. I think many of them think I can't get in till 7. And some people don't start meetings
So
until,
promptly. Yeah.
well, some people don't open the meeting until I always open a meeting 10 minutes before.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
because often someone's having a technical issue and the group tries to help them.
Right. Well, I'm ready.
Good. And probably the carols will want to give people till, you know, at least 5 after to make sure they've, you know, solved all their issues.
5 minutes to solve your issues.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you should have seen us in Yiddish class because everybody was there and it was Tova using it and she got in video but not audio. So there was 12 people in the gallery, all of them trying to
Yeah.
help her. And when she finally got her audio and her video, it was like, hooray. Ah,
Hi.
welcome, Susan Tria.
Okay.
Lovely to see you. Do you know Ellie and Janet?
Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay.
Janet is our author,
Ah,
presenter, and Ellie is Ellie.
Well, thank you.
And Susan Trian. And what we all have in common is pet dogs. And what you three have in common is relatively smaller dogs.
Oh, really? You all have small dogs?
Not me, but they do.
Well, I just
Well-
hope it doesn't kind of explode.
Oh my God,
Aw,
he's
you're-
little.
Hope
Oh
she,
my God.
She's
Yeah,
always
well,
like, she's like
You
a
know-
cat. She's,
We bought this dog, or not, he's a rescue. So help me, he's grown. They said they didn't know how old he was. He's bigger. I mean, I still can pick him up, but he's,
how old is he?
I don't know. They said 3. Well, I
Oh,
don't think so because he
Not if he's
grew.
growing, yeah.
So
Mm.
we have him about since February. So it's been a learning process.
Aw,
Yeah, it's
So
a-
there he is. Wait,
I can
where
see
do
his
you see him
nose.
in the corner?
Yeah, there he is. He's got
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
Aw,
He's
I wish
adorable.
she was nice. She was sleeping nicely like that. I thought, oh, please sleep through the meeting. Don't ask me to go OUT.
Right. Well, we took him OUT before this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I had her on we went to the Brickyard Trail this afternoon, you know, off of Elmwood, the Sandy Frankel Trail.
yeah, the Brickyard. Right.
So pretty.
Susan, I'm trying to find out how you enter it. Where do you park and how do you enter?
You can
Oh,
park.
code, TBK,
Oh,
in the
okay.
parking lot there. It's right there on that block.
Got it. And I'll see it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you'll see it.
and it's opposite to the library parking lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. You should go take a walk there.
Yeah, with the dog.
Yes, lots of dog walkers.
Yeah.
So there's Esther. So we already have two Esthers, which is a privilege.
Hi, Mimi.
Hi.
Mimi, I'm Esther Brill. I've seen you on services, but I just want to introduce myself.
Mimi Greenfield.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Ellie Krieger.
Hi.
Meet you.
Susan Tree.
Hi,
How
Susan.
are you?
And Mimi is in Pennsylvania, right?
Oh my,
In the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
nice.
So Mimi, a longtime temple member, and then they left town. I hate that.
Aw,
Well, I do too, except we came because our kids needed us for morning childcare, afternoon childcare. So,
At least
Yeah.
they give you a break in the evening.
well, they have grown. We started when the oldest was in kindergarten,
Oh,
and she's now a high school sophomore.
wow.
Okay,
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
A while ago.
Okay.
That's so nice. Get to
One
see-
more year of school bus, then the younger one will be leaving early in the morning too. So
Mm.
I'm done after this year.
Aw.
So I assume you're not coming back to Rochester.
No, we're here.
Okay.
Hi, Carol.
Hello.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Ellie, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I haven't seen me in a long time.
Okay, let's see. All right, hi, Janet.
Hi. Hi.
Sorry, guys, I just got a call I have to take. Maybe in a while.
Okay.
Come back. All right.
Hi, Stacy.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you all too.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, hi Janet.
And
Hi, Susan.
Hi everybody. Oh, Mimi, you get to be, are you in Rochester?
No,
Oh, well, that's one of the wonderful things about this.
it has been. It's been wonderful.
You can be together across the miles. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Carol.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Sally.
Hi, Sally.
Oh, hi, Esther.
You outside?
No, that's my virtual book backdrop. It's my garden fence. I mean, garden gate.
Got
That's pretty.
Beautiful.
Gosh,
Oh, it's so nice to see everybody.
really?
Yes, it is.
Does everybody know everyone else?
I
So
think
far,
so.
yeah, so far.
okay.
Hey, Susan,
Yeah.
how are you, Susan Treen? Nice
Mimi!
Weird.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Mimi,
Susan.
hi!
Hi, Sally.
Hi! Gosh, this has been a long time.
I know. An advantage of the virtual world.
Yes,
Really?
wonderful.
Are we ever going to go back to the other world?
Wonder.
I wonder. I'll be right back.
Eventually.
In Yiddish, there's a phrase called that says "Verwees."
yes,
Who knows?
who knows?
The vase.
Verwees, right?
Mm.
An old Yiddish phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a current Yiddish phrase.
We use it a lot.
Yeah, especially
Irrvist.
today.
Who knows? Yeah.
Is there an ich vase? I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, ich vase. I remember hearing that.
This is, I know.
don't know.
And was ich weiß, or was weiß ich, what do I know?
Yeah.
Hi, Ann.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
I am.
Good, how are you?
Good. How's everybody hanging in there?
Just hanging.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Making the best of it.
Right.
Stacy's on her porch.
I know. I got to sneak in these last days of this.
We were playing ukuleles with a group on our deck today. It was a gorgeous day. We have a little group that gets together, so we were
Oh, how nice.
able to do that today.
Ah, see, and I'm taking ukulele lessons from Cynthia Lynn in Hawaii.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Oh,
or
how cool is
tomorrow night and once a month I have a lesson. She sends the music, and she's a good teacher.
Oh, I'll bet she is. I love her. Are you signed up for the Uke Fest yet, Susan?
No, not yet. I have to
Oh,
get over. Yeah,
we're
I should.
we have about 40, 50 people now signed up.
Wow.
And there are people
good.
from all over, California and Florida. So anyway, I'll mention that. We have a ukulele festival coming up on the 23rd and 24th of this month. And the concerts are free and open to everybody. You don't have to be like a player. And it's a fundraiser for RAIN. So if you're interested, it's flowercityukefest.com.
Wow.
And I think it's going to go out in snippets this week. So you should
Oh,
be able to
good.
find it there.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, we have some really good talent, some local talent on Friday night, and then Saturday night is some national talent. So should be a good show. Mona Segatola-Slami from XXI is our MC, and hoping it's going to go well. We're going to make some money for RAIN. So
Oh, that's
Very
great.
nice.
I think it's donate what you feel or want to, isn't there?
yep,
Yeah,
it's
grand,
all
yeah,
free, free concert and donation if you're able.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, should we get started or do you want to wait another couple minutes?
It's 7:03.
I'm game to get
Okay,
started.
all right, let's
But I
start.
see Nancy is trying to get in, so,
Rose, I think it's Roseanne
Roseanne.
Kress.
Okay.
I'm already in.
Um,
And there's that will be Rose.
Looks like Sylvia.
Sylvia.
Sylvia,
No
okay,
more than that.
and Jill. All right, people are still
Yeah.
coming in.
Oh.
All right.
Hey, Esther.
Hi,
Okay.
Jill.
Hey, Carol.
How you doing?
Good, good.
See you.
All right, we'll get started, and I think as people want to, they can just join in, right? It's
Sure.
after we start, so, okay.
Sure.
All right, so I just want to welcome everyone. It's good to see you. As much seeing as we can do, but good to see all your faces. So we're really pleased to present tonight's program with Janet. Janet's a Sinai member, of course, and she's been writing since she was a teenager. She, as she said, mostly in diaries, but then about 15 years ago, she started taking some courses at Writers and Books to enhance her writing skills. Last summer, she published a book. Hold up, I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it's called Up from Rivington Street, a memoir in poetry and prose. And Janet, I hope you'll let people know how they can get copies of your book if they want to obtain.
Just
Yes.
call me.
Yes. Okay. So you'll let them know that
Yeah.
they're able to buy books from you. And just so that you know, we're going to be making a contribution to the Temple Adult Education Fund in Janet's honor to thank her for doing this presentation. That was her selection, and we're delighted to do that. So let's see. She suggests you might want to have some paper and something to write with, because as she goes on, there's going to be some interactive activities. So if you want to get a hold of something to write with, that would be great. And I'm going to now, with great delight, pass this on to Janet. And thank you all for coming.
If I could just interject, if everyone could mute themselves so we reduce the interference, and then when you want to speak up, you'll have the ability to just unmute yourself. But if we mostly all stay mute, then it will be easier. And you also have the choice between speaker view and gallery view that you can adjust yourself. depending on your preference.
And I want to thank Esther for hosting this, because
My
this
pleasure.
is something I don't know how to do. So I'm glad that she's willing to do this. Okay.
Okay. First of all, have any of you ever written in diaries? Kept journals? Okay, very good. So, as Carol said, I've been doing this since I'm a kid. You know, for my birthday, which is early January, this would be a present from my mother, and you know, a nice blank book, and I would write in it, and then maybe a couple of months later give it up. So I found a lot of those books. They're kind of hysterical, especially when you're 10 years old. There were a lot of stories that my mother told me, and at some point I was really interested in my family history. I think it's kind of a shame, and I almost kicked myself, like, why didn't I ask her questions when she had more of a memory? But my kids aren't asking me any questions. It's only when you get much older that you start looking back and saying, oh, if only I had asked them. So at one point when I was doing a family therapy program, I did tape my mother, and I did tape my father, but it was not that satisfying, because I almost had to prompt my mother to remember some of the stories she had already told me.
Why do you believe she was there instead of on the floor?
So I thought I would read some from my book, and then ask, you know, I have some ideas of what you could write, and we could do a little writing and share it if you'd like. You don't have to, but let me start off with this. My parents were of different backgrounds. My father, Italian Catholic, my mother, Eastern European Jewish. They met in the Bronx, and there were a lot of intermarriages between the Italians and the Jews. They lived next to each other. So they got married, and my mother was pretty young. She was maybe not quite 20. She was 19. And it didn't last, but it did last at least after I was born. But this one I call Paradise Summer, and for several years we went up to a bungalow colony, and I call this Paradise Summer 1942. Fiery orange tiger lilies, spotted petals remind me of childhood, when sticky city summers gave way to the countryside. These flowers grow tall in my yard now, as they once did in grass along the highway. We drive north on the Taconic Parkway to Secor Lake Bungalow Colony, a getaway for mothers and children. Fathers arrive on Friday evenings, sleeves rolled up, ties stuffed into jacket pockets, ready for a weekend of badminton, poker, and cuddling. My mother and her friends stop the clicking of their mahjong tiles. Mommy combs her hair, puts on Revlon red lipstick, and a smile. Hands washed, Alan and I sit down with Mommy and Daddy, eat chicken, baked potatoes, salad. No dessert, maybe ice cream if the truck comes around. Later, we kids hear soft murmurings from wooden porches. Happily ignoring the sounds of grown-up voices, we play in the dusk. Rhoda and Nancy and I slip off our saddle shoes, run barefoot, chase after Alan and Harvey and Bobby, keep tabs on them, annoy them with shouts and laughter. We stay up late on Friday nights, call to the frogs and the moon, and dance with the tiger lilies. All right, this next one I'll read is on familiar ground, the Lower East Side. The deli around the corner sends aromas through the open door. Hot pastrami, sour pickles, potato knishes. Mother told me about barrels of pickles just standing outside. A penny could buy 2 large ones. She'd eat one first and save the other for her little brother, Benny. The Tenement Museum is up ahead. Brown brick patched, ceiling holes repaired. Wearily, it stands, no longer falling down. Her insides hold remnants of immigrant struggles. Next year at this time, they believed life will be better. This was, after all, Die Goldene Medina, the Golden Land. The flat on the second floor, small, airless, hot. This is what my mother's home must have looked like. One window overlooks a littered courtyard, one privy in the hall shared by many families, one bed to sleep many children, head to toe, toe to head. Uncle Ben regaled us with stories of falling asleep to the rumble of the elevator in the hall and the kids keeping warm by sleeping together in 1 or 2 beds. But that was when they had moved up to the Bronx. Still not enough beds. I imagine my mother being bathed before Shabbos in that wash tub, her curly red hair frizzy. She hated the torture of her mother brushing out knots. And I remember when my mother washed my hair in the bathtub in our apartment in Queens, painstakingly combing and pulling my hair into tight braids. I hated that too. The synagogue on Eldridge Street is mostly a museum, but a minion of old men prays there Saturday mornings. I can almost see my grandfather in his tallis and kippah, davening to the holy melodies still inside him. This poem I called Clearing Out. I'm always clearing out. It's a continual issue. Clearing out. Words, heavy as these boxes filled with diaries, written at 13, 20, 40, too many words. A match would torch them easily. I stuffed plastic bags with dresses no longer worn or saved for maybe. They'll go to Goodwill. Dresses worn to kids' weddings, the expensive black taffeta bought at Saks Fifth Avenue, the two-piece yellow silk, now way too small, and other dresses too ugly for words, green silk with polka dots. Clean off the dresser top. Tired photos of children cajoled to smile for the camera. Seashells plucked off beaches from Florida to Maine. And porcelain angels collected when I felt most alone. I want clear surfaces and undersurfaces and in-between surfaces, spare space to breathe. I could have said these diaries in words written on crumpled paper, too private, should shred them. I could have said that lightening up I have to do. The vision of a dumpster in the driveway is a bad dream. I could say some memories are painful, can't erase them. Best to send them to Goodwill. I could say I want to be one of the angels that flits from beach to beach, who gathers seashells to give as gifts to delighted children who will laugh, stay young, and never move away. All right, I'm going to tell you about my Aunt Esther. I know, Gail, you like this one. Everybody has favorite aunts and uncles, and they were my favorites. Until I was way into adulthood. This is vision of Aunt Esther. A wonderful cook, a wonderful hostess, a balabusta. Her table shined silver and white. Uncle Benny sits on one end, Aunt Esther at the other, and we their subjects all around. There are often 20 people in the dining room, and we fit. No makeshift folding tables with uncomfortable bridge chairs. All of us around the table as if we belonged. Her guests chat and laugh while her housekeeper quietly helps Aunt Ess serve the meal. Chicken soup with matzo balls, brisket of beef, potato pancakes, chopped eggplant. Dessert could be babka, ice cream, and for the adults, coffee that Uncle Ben would perk for 7 minutes. No more, no less. Aunt Esther's a miracle worker. All of those Saturdays when we are invited, it is my favorite place to be. Smells of the kitchen float through the house. I sit next to the record player and listen to Broadway musicals. All know all of the lyrics by heart. I want to be like Aunt Esther when I grow up. I never quite managed to have a housekeeper, and my house is often a mess. But when I have guests to dinner, the picture of her presiding over the table comes to mind. After Uncle Ben dies, Aunt Esther and I speak about the old days. I tell her of the wonderful memories I have of the Saturday dinners. She looks at me and says softly, I hated them. I felt so put upon. It was a burden doing all of that cooking, and Uncle Ben just sat there and smiled. My poor Aunt Esther. When I gotta leave time for writing. Anyway, there was a period of my time that I was trying to reclaim my Italian heritage, and yeah, just get rid of it, honey. Danny, all right.
To write this book.
Anyway, so I've been to Italy at least 7 or 8 times now in my older adulthood. So, and this is one of the poems I write. It's a quandary. Because I felt so torn. I sip espresso in Sorrento. Oceans away in my garden, purple clematis blooms. I plant my toes in the waters of the Mediterranean while the scented red roses climb a trellis at home. Across time zones, orange poppies open their petals. I'm not there to see, to delight, to marvel. Here, the royal bougainville reigns, climbs up walls, spills unexpected waterfall of purple, ivy geraniums somersault over balconies. Wild poppies poke from cracks and grasses. Honeysuckle sweetens the evening breeze. I sit in the piazza, glimpse dark eyes just like grandmother's, notice expansive gestures just like father's, can almost hear his voice. Life is good. Love makes it better. Who tends my garden? Well, I discovered that I did write a lot of poems, about my mother, obviously. And this is one poem. My mother lived to be 98 and a half, actually. So I appreciated her more and more the older I got. So I'm hoping that goes for my kids too. Ida. Each year she shrinks from ailments of old age. I visit her and Sam in Florida. Their little patio home is getting shabby. Yellow flowered couch faded. A coverlet hides a tear. Dining room chairs wobble, fancy dishes, what's left of them, cracked and chipped. She loves her home, doesn't see how years have worn it down. Breakfast time. She struggles to her feet. Let me fix your grapefruit. Would you like more coffee? What else can I get you? It's okay, Mom. I'll help myself. You sit, finish your oatmeal. She looks at me and smiles. But you're my baby. Reaches up and pulls me into her hug. Okay, I will read one more, and it'll be a little brighter. Okay, this is called Zipline, 2013, Costa Rica with Emma. Emma is my lovely granddaughter. She was 15 at the time. I have 6 grandkids, 5 of them are boys. So Emma's my princess. And she and I went on one of these elder hostel, grandparent, grandchild adventures. Costa Rica with Emma. Our last adventure in the rainforest. It's on the schedule, but I'm leery. It'll be great fun, Grandma, Emma says, not at all scary. We've rafted over rapids, kayaked from one beach to another, kept a careful step on slippery forest floor. My gaze was steady on hanging bridges, like walking in a moving subway car. But this, I'm not so sure. I sign a waiver for us both. They rig us with helmets and hooks, heavy leather gloves and straps. You'll always be attached, they assure. A tractor pulls our cart slowly up the mountain. The whole group is here except for one, who decides to stay back, read her book, sit in the sun. The first platform is up ahead. Keep your right arm behind your head. Hold loosely on the wire, lean back. Your left arm holds the strap in front. Your legs straight out, cross at the ankles. Lean back, enjoy. Aye. We leave the platform one by one. Zoom treetops. I forget to look around. The next landing approaches. Thump breaks the sound. Legs shake, heart pounds. This is supposed to be fun. More platforms to reach. No other way down. This is crazy. Too old for this now. By the 6th one, wobbly legs get rest break. You okay, Grandma? Emma's doing great. Our instructor says, the next part is slow. Smile for the camera. He'll be there below. I lean back, remember to look at the bay, the trees, smile. 12 platforms, 12 jumps. I make it down, no doubt. But if there's a next time, I think I'll remain on the ground. But I did it. And here's proof. Okay. So now just unmute yourself. Unmute. Okay. Are you ready? All right. First of all, you have to say to yourself, whenever you start writing, I am free to write the worst junk in the world. It's okay. It's okay. So that, keep that in mind at all times. And, and it takes time to sift through experiences. I call it percolating. And I often actually do it in the shower. I don't know, the morning shower is a time I'm soaping up and it's getting really steamy, but my brain is elsewhere. And that's when if I'm working on a poem, it's in there and it's percolating. I reread some of a book called Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. And she calls it composting. It's when you take all the dregs and the eggshells, the grass clippings, the vegetable peelings, put it all together, and eventually you have this great soil that will grow beautiful flowers. So that's what our experiences can do for writing. Eventually, you can't really write when you're often in the midst of something, because like if you're full madly in love, all you can think of is I'm madly in love, but it's maybe 10 years down the road you can write about it with some kind of understanding. So the first thing that I thought I would ask you to do, what we'll do is we'll write for just a few minutes, and okay, we'll write just for a few minutes. And the first thing, write down a list of all the things you remember right off the top of your head, whether it's this morning's coffee or 10 years ago. Just write down some memories that you have. And we'll go for about 2 minutes.
Oh, good.
Okay, gonna stop. Now, take one of those things that you wrote down, just one of them, and expand a little bit. Expand, about it. Okay, we'll just give you 1 more minute on this. So finish up if you're able to. Okay. Does anybody have anything they would like to share? Okay, you're right. Unmute yourself.
You want me or not?
Gail, you said you wanted to.
Okay,
Yeah.
am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. Well, since you, Janet made a reference about aunts, she dedicated one of her books to one of our very dear aunts, Jay's, family, married to his father's brother. And I thought about her when Janet said that. And this is something that I thought of. Orthodox Seder, Brooklyn. Tall men seriously reading Haggadah, end of table. All else quiet, serious. Women at the end of the too long table observing. 4 small children resting, playing behind us. Noise breaks the rhythm. Tinkle, tinkle. M, all look. M, her dress pulled up to her waist, squatting over the cooking pot for the gefilte fish. Aunt Helen looks. She says, the gefilte fish will be even better next year.
Very nice.
I've thought of that often. And it wasn't written quite like this, but I mentioned something like this when Emily had her bat mitzvah.
Okay, okay. Is it anybody else would like to share? Sally.
Well, it's not much. I didn't meet anyone Jewish until I was 18, but learning about Judaism started when I met my husband-to-be. It was important to him. He wanted his children to be brought up to be Jewish. I agreed, but I had to learn to be able to teach them. This began the journey, and to be continued.
Very good. Okay, okay. Anybody else? Okay, all right, then I would like you to think about this morning. How did you begin your morning? Be as specific as you can.
Good. Did you have a nice dinner? Yes. Lost you.
I was just getting some.
Oh, there's everybody.
Okay, another minute and we'll stop. Okay, let's just finish. Would anyone like to share their morning? Anne, unmute yourself.
I think I am unmuted.
Oh, okay, so Anne and Jill. Okay.
Well, so Anne should go first? 'Cause
No,
she begins with
no.
an A?
Go ahead, you go, Jill. Whatever.
Breakfast, car service, change oil, New York State inspection, change ball joint, missing lug nut lock. Oh dear, can't get the wheel off the car. We threw out the lug lock with the other lug nuts. Oy. $203 later, I drive home. Ugh.
Ugh.
If I could give advice, I would, but I can't. You know, I don't know what's right. This is the kind of thing that when you look back in time, you know what would have been a good idea and what wasn't a good idea. But going forward, you don't know.
Is that Miss?
Janet, do you want me to go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. This morning, I quickly rose and showered to be ready for my 8:30 call with my friend Cindy. We've been friends for more than 30 years. I can't believe it. Been through lots of ups and downs at our workplaces, had kids together. She's had 3 marriages. Number 3 is a good fit. We share what's happened in our lives over the last 3 weeks since we last spoke. Serious, laughter, ideas flying by. The hour comes to an end far too soon.
See, when you put a lot of detail in, it really comes alive. And I think that's one of the things to remember when you're writing. So that's very nice, both of you. Anybody else want to share? Okay. Now, think your favorite meals. It could be different ones or a particular time or ones you love to prepare and what goes in them. Just favorite meals. Go for it. Okay, we'll stop within a minute. Okay. Does anyone have something they willing to share with us? Leslie?
All right. Do I have my voice on?
Yeah.
So I started with one phrase and then I got into my thing. My favorite meals are with my sister, maybe in Wyndham or Marble. Making gado gado for Thanos year after year and eating in back with the view of Sheep's Head Mountain. Or maybe it was White House, not chair, not Sopris. Gado gado like I learned in Suriname from Francis Ahercope. White rice, steamed cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, cabbage, maybe sprouts and spinach, chicken sauté, tofu, cucumbers and vinegar, spicy peanut sauce overall, perhaps a mango, gado gado, God, God.
Yum, yum. Sylvia, did you have something?
You know, I'm still stuck on the first assignment
All right,
because it just took me back so far and I'm not done, but I can see I've got my homework for tonight when I can't sleep.
What was it?
In the mid 1950s, you could roam freely, safely, anywhere in my leafy little working class town outside of Philadelphia. My mother and father were the only parents with college degrees, except for Father Schultz across the street. But we all got along so well, like fish in an aquarium, blissfully unaware of any differences. We were just American kids, spilling from one yard to the next, kicking the can till sundown, digging a hole all the way to China in the vacant lot.
Very nice, very nice. You know, when you're working on something like this, don't edit it while you're writing. You know, don't go back and say, oh, I don't like that. Write it out. When it's down, then you go back and look at it. Just let it go. Otherwise, you get hooked up on what does a sentence sound like. So that would make it much easier for you, and then you could really. But that was very lovely. Yeah.
It was a really, really special place, and maybe there were differences, and I'm sure there were, because until I was an adult, I never knew that my friend Frankie Lacchetto's father worked for the mafia. But my parents never mentioned it when we were kids. Who knew what the mafia was? Well, my parents did. But this was Philadelphia.
Right. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Very good. Would anyone else like to share? Okay. Maybe for the last assignment, well, what I was going to say was to pick one of those things that you had written or put down and expand on it a little bit, which you're already doing, Sylvia. But maybe everybody can just look at what you've written and either whether it's a sentence or a memory or a word, just expand on that a little bit and see what happens. All right, we're finishing about within the minute. Okay. Would someone like to share something? Susan Itkin, you're still writing. Will you, will you share it with us?
Oh, sure. My favorite meals have always been lunches with our granddaughters, Liv and Orla. One time when Liv was a baby, maybe 5, 6 months old, I fed her lunch of squash and carrots or squash or carrots, something like that, with a spoon. Then I put her on my lap and to keep me company while I ate my lunch, a sandwich. Her little head was right below mine, back of her head to my chest. And then I picked up my sandwich slowly, thought I was going to take a bite. But her little head darted out before I got the sandwich to my mouth. I think that was her first salad food.
Very sweet, very sweet.
It was. I'll never forget it. She's 9 now.
Yeah. You'll have to give her that.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah. So would anyone else like to share? Okay. I thought if that's all right with you, I would just share with just a few poems that I wrote after the book. I mean, recently. So, okay, this is early spring. I guess it must be before our COVID stuff. Early spring, my favorite season, yet I weep. Then I remember Paul died this time of year. Solomon seals emerge from the cold ground under the Norwegian maple. I thought deer had killed them when they stripped the leaves bare last year. Some gladness returns. I knew I could count on spring. She never lets me down. And this one is called Angels in Waiting. No wings, maybe a cane, a walker. These elder women leave warm beds, attend synagogue this Saturday morn. They count as the minyan, so those who need to can say Kaddish. Many are widowed themselves. They know what it's like to mourn. Early winter light enters through tall windows in the sanctuary. Outside, bare branches lift skyward, looking for sun. And the last one, it's a hot summer afternoon. Switch seasons a little. Plum wine over ice cubes. I lean back on the lawn chair, look at lush leaf trees in the woods behind the house. A yellow finch alights on the bird feeder. A friend said gin and tonics work wonders for creativity. Maybe plum wine does too. I sink deeper into the chair, close my eyes, listen to the sprinkler tending to the tomatoes. And that's where my creativity went that day. So we are coming up to the time of finishing. Should I unmute yourselves? Because this is really weird looking at all these.
Can I share something?
Oh, there you go.
Yes, Sally.
I don't know if anybody else took the class at Temple a good number of years ago about elder writing
right,
for your generation. You were there, Janet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it would be okay if I'm not a writer at all, and Susan gave us one of her earliest things she asked us to write was something about our senses. Sight, sound, feel, taste, smell, and thought. And I found it really helpful to me to think about those and thinking about things that you love. And just by doing this little poem, it's giving something to my children about me. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read it to you.
I'd love to hear it.
It's a little, maybe a little embarrassing, but okay. Things that soothe my senses. The sight of spring flowers, the sky at sunset, and my children soothe my senses. The sound of the ocean waves, Mummy playing the piano, and the loons on Pollywog Pond soothe my senses. The feel of the sun on my face, clouds' soft fur, and Sandy's hand in mine soothed my senses. The taste of English cucumber, sponge candy, and hot black sweetened tea with milk soothed my senses. The smell of my lavender garden, newly mown grass, and breakfast cooking on the campfire soothed my senses. The thought of my children happy and healthy, spending time with them and traveling the journey of life with my love, Sandy, soothes my senses.
That's beautiful.
And that was the first poem I ever wrote.
Okay.
Very good.
Nice.
Very
So
That was lovely.
I guess this is the appropriate time, unless someone else has other things. Anybody say anything or want to share?
Anybody else want to speak? Or
Janet, what was the reason that you wrote this particular book?
It was initially, I wanted to leave for my kids. I wanted to leave them some of the stories, family things, so they should know my parents and know my relationship to the old time. They had heard some of the stories, but a lot of the stuff they didn't really know. So it was mainly for the kids, and I was hoping that the grandkids would eventually be interested in what went before. So that was why I did it. But what I found, after it was out and other people read the book, that it seemed to spark images for them of their own families. And that's what made it more a universal, because families are families and we're not that different from each other. And, and if it could spark a memory for you, that's great. So that's why I did it. Huh?
It did.
Janet,
Yeah.
Janet, I really liked that you asked us first to just jot down as many memories as we could think of at the beginning, because I've wanted to write, but I just didn't even know where to begin. And I thought that these were great, stimuli for writing just short paragraphs, to expand on those different
right. You don't have to have a coherent linear story. It's not necessary. And even in the book, it's really a compilation of stuff I've written over the years. And I put it so it's sort of more or less, but it shifts back. It's like your stream of consciousness. One thing reminds you of something else. So that's a great, good. Okay.
So thank you. I think that was just fantastic.
Oh, you're
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. It's beautiful.
I did too.
Thank
It gets you thinking,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's the idea.
reminiscing.
Yes. Yeah.
It was
It brought me
inspiring.
back to my grandmother.
Huh?
Oh, it brought me back to my grandmother.
Okay.
It's lovely.
I love the one about your aunt, and you thought it was the perfect dinner, and she was like, I always put it on. I did it.
It was great.
Favorite one that you told tonight.
Right.
Perspective, from a child's perspective, it's so different.
Yeah.
It was very sweet.
Sylvia, I want to hear more about yours when you finally get it. It's so interesting. You're muted.
You're muted.
Who's muted?
Sylvia Rose is now. Okay, I want to hear more about your story.
Well, I'll do my best. We'll see. It's funny how we left that town when I was 8 years old and moved to Pittsburgh. And I had a completely different experience in the town outside of Pittsburgh where we lived. So looking back, I don't know if it was the town itself or if it was actually the developmental stage I was in from the age of 2 to the age of 8 in Philadelphia, and then from the age of 8 to 10 in Pittsburgh. I'd like to explore that and think about it a lot, because I have very happy memories of living in Philadelphia and being very carefree. Right. And then everything changed, of course. So.
Were you in Philadelphia, or were you in a town outside of Philly?
Back then, we lived in Ambler, Pennsylvania, and that's now a very gentrified, upper middle class, wealthy town. But it really was a working class town when we lived there. And if you know Philly, you know, it was small, it was kind of cohesive, it was just kind of an American melting pot. And I just really loved living where we were. So are you from Philly?
My mom grew up in Philadelphia, and my brother lives there. I grew up right outside of Philadelphia, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. In a small town.
I've toyed with the idea of really writing an autobiography for my kids. So it's kind of encouraging.
What is that?
The noise.
Anyway, Sylvia, that's what you need to do it for your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
like
otherwise the stories get lost.
Right.
They really do. You're right about that one.
Yeah.
But Sylvia, what you wrote reveals much of who you have become. It makes me understand more who you are.
Oh. You'll have to tell me later about that. Offline.
It's good.
Nice
it's
compliment.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate all of you sharing.
Thank you, Janet, for a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Janet.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks to all of you for
That was wonderful.
just wanted to let you know that in November, we're going to have another interesting program featuring Judge Karen Morris, who has spoken to us before. I think the date's November 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And she's going to talk about legal issues stemming from the pandemic. So it should be very interesting. Monica has been working with her, you know, kind of getting things, there she is, getting things organized. And Karen's a wonderful speaker, and she's really excited to come and talk with us. So you'll be hearing about that, you know, pretty soon. So I hope you'll join us for that. And again, Janet, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
And if anybody wants Janet's book, yes. Should they just contact you directly? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think most of you might have it already, but yes.
Okay.
Just email me, janetnemitz1@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thanks, Janet.
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye.
All Chavurah.
Okay.
Take it this month.
Bye, Amy, wherever you are.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Lovely. This is great.
Janet, great job.
Thank you.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Absolutely.
Bye.